So let's get started. One of the nice things about Odoo is that it's an open source business application framework. That means that you can download it and have the source code and begin using it right away. You don't have to have license agreements or pay any kind of trial fees. It's also nice that it runs on a variety of platforms. And in this case, like a lot of cases, we're going to run Odoo under Ubuntu. Ubuntu is typically the preferred operating system for running Odoo, although you can run it under Windows or other versions of Linux. Another common practice is to run your Ubuntu server under a virtual environment. And so if you've already installed Odoo and you're familiar with that process, you may wish to skip ahead to the section in which we go ahead and get into customizing Odoo. However, if you would like to see how to install Odoo from scratch, and in fact in this case install a Ubuntu server from scratch, that's what this part of the video is for. It's really for people that have just gotten started with Odoo. They want to see how to get it installed on Ubuntu and how to set up a Ubuntu server. So even if you're not familiar with Ubuntu, even if you've never installed Odoo before, this video and this set of lectures will help you get started. So we can begin by going to VMware.com. So just go to your browser, and put in VMware.com, and you'll notice that right here is a Downloads tab that will expand out, and we can choose right here Workstation Player. So Workstation Player is the software that will allow us to run Ubuntu on our Windows workstation without having to buy an extra hardware box or sign up for any services. It's a free VMware Workstation Player for the Windows 64-bit operating system. So this should cover you if you're on Windows 7, 8, or 10, as long as you're running 64-bit. And you can also install Ubuntu in a lot of other platforms. There's lots of sources out there for choosing where to install Odoo, but we're going to go with a simple free combination here. So you can go and just click download, and this will download your VM Workstation Player. So click that download link and you'll see it download here, and it's usually a pretty quick download. It's only about 70 megabytes in size. Now once it is downloaded, you will click just like any other application and install this VMware player. So I can go ahead and bring it up like this so you can see how you get your installation wizard, and you'll just follow through this and install it just like you would any other application. So I'm going to cancel this because I've already installed VMware Player, and you just install it like you would any other application. And once you do, then you can launch it, and we'll wait just a little bit to launch it, but once we launch it, that's what's going to allow us to have as many different servers as we wish running within inside our Windows installation. Now for some of you this is maybe, things you already know, but this is for someone who's just getting started and who hasn't installed Ubuntu before on a Windows machine. So once you got your VMware Workstation Player downloaded, now we're going to go to Ubuntu.com and download the 14.04 build of Ubuntu. So once again, we can go over here to download, and we do want the desktop edition. Now, if we were not going to be doing development, this is a development-centered video, we might choose to use just what they would call a headless server without an interface. But because we want to be able to use some of the graphical tools, we're going to go ahead and use the desktop version. So it's going to kind of give us a little blend of the best of both worlds. And you'll see right here that we got Ubuntu 14.04.3, and the LTS stands for long-term support. So this is going to be the Ubuntu version that we're going to install. So we can go ahead and click download here, and it's going to ask you to donate for your download, and you can it's going to default all of these options to 3 to basically help you shape the future of Ubuntu. Now you can just zero these out, and I definitely highly recommend that you do support Ubuntu and contribute. Obviously, being a training video, I'm not going to walk you through a checkout process of contributing here, but I can only encourage you to contribute to this. So I'm going to go ahead and click download, and just like with our VMware player, we're going to get a download message coming up here at the bottom, and we're going to now wait for the time it takes to get that downloaded. You can go have a cup of coffee or do something and come back. It'll be downloaded, and then you can restart the video when you have your Ubuntu installation ready to go once it's completed its download.